Hey guys, it's Daniel with Boss C351's Productions. Today we've got a whopper for you. This is a 2007 F-150 with the 5.43 valve, and we're going to dive right into it right after this. Now, a little back history with this truck. This truck has had the timing components replaced here about 20,000 miles ago. I replaced the chains, the guides, the phasers, the VVT solenoids. Also, we put in a high volume, high pressure oil pump. And it's been running great, no codes, nothing, until yesterday we had a problem. Now, to start the diagnosis out, I grabbed my handy dandy code scanner and put it on the truck, turned the ignition on, and to see what codes I had. I had a generic code for ignition failure on coil number 6. So what I did, I got my Noid out that I purchased at Harbor Freight. It's a tester that tests both injectors and the coil pack connectors on the engine. So I hooked it up to number 6 coil pack connector, turned the engine over, and I had no ignition fire whatsoever. I checked all the rest of the ignition coil connectors, had no fire on any of them. So I have an ignition failure. So that leads me to the next step. Why do you have ignition failure? If all of them has failed, either you have a burnt wire or possibly a fuse that has gone and blown on you. So next we go into the passenger side floor kick panel. Now, as you see, I've got the kick panel out. This is the cover to the fuse box. Just pull up on it and it should come out. And that exposes all the fuses to the truck. Now, the fuse 33 you're looking for is this blue one right up here, right there in the center. That is fuse number 33. I pulled that fuse out and it had popped. So of course right now you're thinking, well, let's just replace the fuse and see what happens. Well, I did that, and this is what happens if you still have a fault. I replaced the coil that was in position number 6 on the engine with an older coil, just to make sure I have one that actually works and does not have a problem with itself internally. Well, I replaced the coil, put the fuse in, and this is what happened. It popped the coil. It only popped it, it set it on fire, and it spewed electrical fire right out of the side. So my next step, hey, do I have a bad spark plug or a spark plug that has grounded itself and it's causing this problem? So the next thing I did, I pulled out the spark plug out of the cylinder. These are relatively new spark plugs. So the next thing I did was check the spark plug for either an internal short or an internal break. So I checked it with the meter, and what I found was from here to the little center electrode in the middle of the spark plug, there was no continuity. That means there's a break of some kind inside that spark plug. Quite possibly when the coil went to maximum power before it popped the inside of the spark plug or melted the inside of the spark plug. Now I checked the ground electrode right here at the end. and checked continuity from here to the ground electrode, and it showed an open test. That means there's no continuity between here and the tip right here. Maybe that the system is trying to push out so much voltage to jump whatever gaps inside this plug that it burnt the coil up. So I replaced the spark plug, I replaced the coil, and I replaced the fuse again. Guess what happens? It blows another coil. Same thing as before. It let the fire out of the coil, and we had a crank but no start situation. The next step of the diagnostic process is we took a meter and we put the meter on the coil connector to see if it was continually ground to the chassis. Well, guess what? It was. So what we figure is, with it being grounded, the harness being grounded somewhere, it gave a direct short, and it was maximizing the power trying to push through that coil, and it burnt the coil up. So we started chasing wires. So guys, if you keep having fuse number 33 pop, you got a reason why it's popping. You've got a short somewhere in one of the wires. And when we traced it down, we found the short. In fact, we found several shorts that also made the air conditioner inoperative. So we pulled out this wiring harness, unhooked it, and checked all the wires in it. And what had happened is the wires were continually rubbing right here against the air conditioning metal hose. You can actually see and feel where it was arcing here on this hose. Further checking through the harness, we found several wires that were rubbed through to the wire itself, causing the problem. So to resolve the problem, of course, we applied electrical tape over the open spots in the wire. Then we took a special cloth type tape and wrapped the entire harness all the way back to the back of the valve cover, all the way forward to the connector that goes in the ECM. Then we placed 1-inch electrical loom over that wiring harness and taped it up as well. Once we did that, we again went back, checked everything, put another coil in, new fuse in, truck cranked up, and I've been driving fine since. So again, I'm reading, a lot of guys having problems with fuse 33 popping, and when it pops, it immobilizes the vehicle. It will not start, and they just pop another fuse in there. I'm here to tell you, one of these times when it does it, it's going to burn up one of your coils, and when it burns up, it shoots out a pretty good flame from that coil when it goes, especially if it's a Needlebrock coil. The Motorcraft coil didn't do that, but it shoots out enough flame it could possibly set your truck on fire. So next time you have this problem, or if you have this problem, for the first time, go in, check your main wiring harness on the top of your engine, make sure the loom is completely covering all the wires on that harness, make sure nothing's rubbing. 9 times out of 10, if you find where it's rubbing, that's where the fault has begun. Once again, this is Daniel with Boss C 351's Productions. I appreciate you watching my videos. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Every little bit helps. I'm over 2,000 subscribers right now, and I'm aiming for a whole lot more when I start to rebuild my 3.5 EcoBoost engine within the next month or so. Until then, I appreciate it. Have a good day.